Yo, 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 what's going on, everyone? It's Buns. Welcome back to the road to Gladiator. Today, we're going to be hitting into another gameplay breakdown where I'm going to go look at my footage that I've played over the past couple of days, break down the tape for you guys so we can go back, look what went well, look where we can make some improvements to get you guys on that same kind of mindset to go back and check out your own footage to see what went well for yourself and areas that you can improve. Let's jump into it, guys. I want to take some time to talk about getting a good opener when you are playing as a rogue, especially when you're playing with this comp as RMD, where you can get really strong openers and gain a lot of your team's momentum off of the first fight in the match. Now, in some situations, it's good to look at games that went poorly. Now, in this situation, we want to be able to get our opener onto the Mistweaver Monk, so I get myself in a position where I can sap. But you can see here is what ends up happening is I elect to sap the Hunter, when realistically, I need to actually sap the Monk first so that we can set up onto him, and then a global later try to sap the Hunter, so that way we get the Monk in place and it lines up a cheap shot and we get a very clean opener on him. I instead sap the Hunter, and you can see that this Mistweaver gets away. Not only do I have to use step onto him, but he's lagging on his mount, and it completely screws up our opener. Once again, just to reiterate, getting a sap onto our kill target to set up allows both of us to get into position and be able to line it up. So getting a sap on this Mistweaver to start here would have prevented him from lagging 15 yards, me having to use my shadow step, and then missing out on the cheap shot anyways because he was lagging. So even though he was lagging, and it does suck because we would have gotten a smoother opener, it was in my control to be able to get the sap as I was in position, so I just would have had to sacrifice not getting it on the Hunter. Now, the inexperience of this Monk made him feel like he had to pop bubble right off the bat, which was to our advantage because we didn't get that clean of an opener, but we got a huge cooldown out from him. So for now, we're turning our attention to this Hunter to try to get some pressure up on him and keep the DPS on us. So at this point, their Monk is coming out into the middle of the field, and our Druid goes over there and lands a bash onto him to get some CC, and we end up putting as much pressure onto this Hunter as we can. Now, I didn't even realize how good of a situation we were in here, but we end up actually just killing the Hunter with a Glacial Spike and my damage, but I didn't even use Vendetta at this point. It was a really sloppy game by the other team, but we ended up having a decent enough opener where we were able to win the game. I just wanted to come back to this one because I realized immediately as soon as we killed the Hunter that there was opportunity for us to have a cleaner opener that game, and it's good to take examples like this even when you win to go back and look at things that you can improve on if you really want to get better at the game. The very next game, we got an opportunity once again against a Mistweaver Monk to get a really strong opener. So we wanted to put ourselves in a better position this time to make sure that we were both able to get in-sync damage on the Mistweaver and force more cooldowns, put more pressure onto the enemy team. So as the Mistweaver is moving over to the middle area on Twin Peaks, I do use my sprint to catch up to him. I'm able to sap him in a great spot, open in line of sight, and our mage is able to get his cast off, and I open with a cheap shot, following up with a Rupture Silence and getting huge damage into him, not having to use my Vendetta and still forcing bubble, which is really good for us because I will be able to follow it up here with the Vendetta and get a ton of damage into him, ultimately helping us land the kill. Now you can see here I had my Shadow Step available as opposed to the last game where I had to use my Shadow Step to actually get the cheap shot on the Monk, which 100% enabled me to actually follow up that Monk when he tried to run away and land that kill. Being able to get an efficient opener will help you force more cooldowns quickly from the enemy team, and in this situation, it completely allowed me to be able to follow up after I use bubble, land the Shadow Step, and then use my Vendetta afterwards for us to secure the kill. This is a game I wanted to show you guys where we faced a Hunter Enhance Holy Paladin team where our healer ended up having some DC issues, but we continued playing on and we made the best of the situation, coming out on top. So at the start of this game, I'm able to get a sap onto the Paladin and open up onto the Shaman, which is our original kill target. We get a lot of pressure onto him. We immediately recognize the Counter-Strike Totem. We get that down, and I take huge damage here from the Shaman. I have to cloak, and I think that's going to be enough, but our healer's ending up having some lag issues, so I do vanish as well too. Now we end up getting pressure back onto the Shaman. We need to come back out, and they're swapping pressure over to my Mage. So I take this opportunity to put damage onto the Paladin. Now he instantly trinkets my kidney, and I recognize at this time I need to commit Vendetta and get Bubble here. I already got Trinket. I need to be more. I need to get greedy. So I end up trying to do as much damage as I can, and I force the Bubble. So what happens here is we can just completely go back and look for some sort of a reset. We don't have to push the tempo. So we end up deciding to come back to the pillars, make them come out to us, and we're going to reset the tempo here. So I'm looking to get a re-stealth. We're just kind of buying our time behind the pillar, trying to bait them to come towards us, and we're not really in any hurry. We got the Paladin's bubble and we got Trinket, which Trinket's a short cooldown, but it's nothing crazy for this kind of a match. We can instantly go out here and try to get CC onto the Paladin. Now, by resetting, we put ourselves in a situation where I actually am able to get the resap onto the Paladin with him dropping combat, so picking up on his mistake, able to get some pressure onto the Shaman once again. I'm taking huge damage, so I basically just have to run away and kite here as I don't really have that much else up. So at this point in time, it was good for me to run around and buy my healer some time. Now, the Hunter's the only target that I can hit at this point, so we decide to make a swap onto the Hunter, so I commit a lot of damage onto him and try to get as much pressure as I can go onto him. The Paladin's going in for some CC, but he ends up overcommitting, and we end up getting so much damage onto this Hunter that the Paladin fell behind, and we're able to relay some CC onto him, and we end up landing the kill. I wanted to show you guys this game because not every single arena you play is going to be picture perfect textbook how you want it to go. First off, you're playing against other people, and people are smart, they adjust, they figure out what your strat is and how to work around it. But second off, too, you're going to make mistakes. There's going to be spontaneous things that happen during the course of the game where you have to adjust on the fly, and this is a great situation where we made great adjustments to accommodate for not only our teammate having issues during the game, but also being able to adjust to how the pace of the game was going. Getting that second reset really opened us up to getting a lot of pressure and securing the kill onto the Hunter. For the final match of the day that I have for you guys, we are playing as RMD versus RMP, and this was our first time playing in the matchup, and this was a game that was extremely close that I wanted to go back and look at later because I knew that there must have been multiple things that I could have done differently to affect the outcome in this game. And there was. So right off of the bat, the rogue gets the sap on our druid, and I go back looking for him, and I pop my sprint to have a better chance at finding him out, but I just don't happen to catch him, which is unfortunate. Sometimes that happens. So we decide that we want to get an open on something rather than not opening at all. So we decide to open up onto this mage first, so I get an off kidney onto the priest, and the rogue decides to open onto me, and he uses Vendetta immediately. Now, I was trying to get away with not using that many cooldowns here, so I was just feinting, but in reality, I end up having to use my cloak and still using feint. Right off the bat, the next time that I face a rogue and he pops evasion like that really early, especially in this sort of a quote-unquote mirror matchup, it's very effective to use the evasion as soon as the other rogue uses Vendetta to really stop his initial burst. Because when a rogue uses Vendetta, they're going to have a full energy pool, so the next time around, I can do that to help us out. Now you can see that the mage is getting positioning between myself and our healer right now, and I need to be able to go over there and actually harass this mage more than I am right now. And you see a huge glacial spike coming in here right now. Thankfully, my partner was able to sheep it, otherwise I would have been toast right there. And he's going for sheeps, trying to land it onto our healer, and you can see this mage is free casting. Now I still have kick available, and I see the glacial spike being cast, so I actually line it, running around. Otherwise I would have died there, but I actually had kick available, so using my kick there would have guaranteed that he'd not get the cast off. A little bit of a panic move for me here, but at least I was able to recognize it for the next time around. Now at this point we have snowballed pressure onto the rogue very hard. He puts me into a kidney, but we're pretty much going to be able to finish off this game here. The reason why I wanted to go back is there were multiple ways that I feel that I could have used my cooldowns better. First and foremost being using my evasion as soon as the rogue pops a Vendetta to stop his initial pressure, and then I felt I could have handled the mage pressure better by landing an off kick onto him as I was standing right next to him. It's just one of those things that you're going to get better at from going back and watching your tapes to see, oh, okay, I can look to do this the next time around. Hey, thank you guys so much for watching the video. All the support on the channel recently has been absolutely crazy, so thank you guys for keeping up with all the videos and sharing the content. Appreciate the love. I've been trying to incorporate a lot of your guys' comments and feedback into the direction of where we're going with the channel in upcoming videos, so you can look forward to that. As always, guys, thank you for supporting. I will catch you guys in the next video. Peace. Keep it easy, everyone. Yo, 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 what's going on, guys? It's Buns. Welcome back to the road to Gladiator. Today, I wanted to spend some time talking about a really big topic for anyone that's breaking into any sort of PvP going in World